If it wasn't for those pesky Twitter files dropping yesterday, I would have been talking about this. And this one right here, it's not something, it's definitely not a realm that I like to delve into, okay? I've made my music preferences known, especially when it comes to hip-hop and rap and all that stuff. I like my 90s gangster rap. I think once Jay-Z took over, it was just done for me. I'm not a big fan of any of that stuff. And to be completely honest, I don't know a single Tory Lanez bar, rap, album, anything like that. Okay, I barely know who the guy is. I know he's Canadian, and I know he's going to be facing deportation here if this appeal doesn't end up going his way, which it probably should, because this entire trial, man, it was out in California. Okay, if you're in the cold on this one, I understand, because this was a state case that went over a very, very short period of time. A lot of crazy shit ended up happening. Now, if it was televised, okay, this would have been the biggest shit on the fucking planet at the time, okay? Absolutely, not being hyperbolic, not being exaggerative at all whatsoever, okay? Especially when one of the key witnesses, one of the people that was there that allegedly seen the shooting that Tory Lanez conducted, went on the stand, okay? She is supposed to weave a tale that will tug at your heartstrings, and the first thing that she does when she gets up there, I plead the fifth and I want immunity. What the fuck? Okay, the inference on that one right there is, ooh, she's done some shit, because the Fifth Amendment, yes, you can pull the Fifth. It's been characterized and satirized multiple times over. Whenever you're on the stand and you don't want to talk about something, you can plead the Fifth. Not entirely true, okay? The only time that you have Fifth Amendment immunity, the right to not incriminate yourself via testimony, provided under oath, okay, is when the words that you will say will likely lead to an investigation or charges against yourself. That's the only time that you can credibly use the Fifth Amendment, okay? And then when somebody who's in like a self-defense trial, like you seen it during Kyle Rittenhouse, okay, he took the stand, he waived his Fifth Amendment right, because obviously he can be asked questions about, okay, so why did you shoot Joseph Rosenbaum? Well, he was a pedophile and somebody needed to put him down. If he would have said that, it would have been having a very different conversation, okay, than what he's having on Twitter right now. But no, in this trial right here, Tory Lanez did not take the stand, okay? Didn't really seem that necessary. The state needed to prove the fact that his girlfriend, fuck buddy, whatever the hell Megan Thee Stallion ended up being. Now, when it comes to modern day rap, I think everybody's at least heard the name Megan Thee Stallion. You might not be able to pick her out of a lineup or anything like that. You might not know anything other than she was the featured artist on WAP, Wet Ass Pussy, okay? Yuck. The Cardi B song that she won't even let her kids listen to. But yeah, you that's the number one song, or at least it was at the time that it was being recorded. Yeah, very interesting, right? But she was allegedly, okay, after a drunken pool party attended by multiple celebrities, okay, hosted at Kylie Jenner's house, okay, and Tory Lanez was apparently shooting a shot with her, and this Kelsey Harris lady as well, who went up on the stand, pleaded the Fifth, and probably had something to do with the shooting, mostly because she had gunshot residue on her and Tory Lanez didn't. But now clearly there was enough evidence. Megan went up on the stand as she cried, she tugged at the heartstrings, and a jury of 12 of Tory Lanez's peers found that testimony, the subsequent evidence provided, which was shaky at best, was beyond a reasonable doubt. What the fuck, man? Like, this is one of those things that really should have been televised, because shit like this, all of the sketchy shit, okay, ends up getting disseminated by court reporters, transcripts at the end of the day. Just think about some of the powerful testimony from the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial, okay? If you would have ended up getting Amber Heard's sterile testimony, okay, just as a simple printout, as opposed to her fake crying, just emoting like somebody with autism trying to mimic human emotions, it would have been less convincing. That's out there. And who knows, because we can be completely honest, social media had something to do with it, okay? The amount of people that showed up at the courtroom, that had something to do with it as well. Without that type of spotlight on it, because you compare and contrast the first day of that trial as opposed to the final days of that trial, okay, there were a couple people in the audience to begin with, in the courtroom itself, and then by the end there were people wrapped around the fucking block, okay? And if Tory Lanez was afforded this, it's not his real name, but that's his artist name. That's what everybody knows him as, I guess. Might have had a different, more a just decision on this because, okay, Megan Thee Stallion alleges that she was shot in the foot by Tory Lanez after there was a drunken argument or something like that. Okay, she got out of the vehicle in a bikini. Okay, got to the front of the vehicle. Tory, being a little short dude, got up on the side of the vehicle over the top of the vehicle. Okay, in the middle of the night, and got over, pulled out a gun and said, "Dance, dance, bitch." Started shooting at her feet a bunch of different times, and she got hit with one of the bullets, even though there weren't bullet fragments in her foot, and that a medical examiner ended up finding out that the lacerations on her feet were from broken glass and not from gunshot wounds. It's very interesting. It's very interesting, but I guess that wasn't enough. That wasn't enough for a jury to see the light on. But let's get into some of the specifics here. Tory Lanez's furious dad and stepmom blast Jay-Z and Beyonce. Sorry, what? After the Canadian rapper was convicted of shooting Megan Thee Stallion, in the foot, meaning he now faces 18 years in prison and deportation. Yeah, his sentencing hearing is supposed to be at the end of January. It's fucking wild, dude. Rapper Tory Lanez's father has blamed Jay-Z for his son being convicted of a shooting. I don't really care about that. Sunstar Peterson, the father of Lanez, whose real name is Daystar Peterson, outside the courtroom accused Jay-Z of having traded and bartered the soul of young men. Sorry, what? There's Tory himself. That's a nice jacket. Not a big fan of the color, but the jacket's nice, I guess. There's Megan Thee Stallion. You might not be able to recognize her because she's not twerking next to She-Hulk. Fucking yuck. 30-year-old singer faces up to 18 years in jail. Showed no emotion when the verdict was read because it was just so fucking ridiculous. Outside the court, his father raged, calling the verdict the worst miscarriage of justice this world has ever seen. Well, actually, that's kind of a problem because you didn't get to see the verdict. It's another reason why there should be cameras in every fucking courtroom. And I know exactly what the public out here will say. He will say that I say this because I am a father. You see, I'm a father of thousands around the world. Oh my God, my guy gets around. I'm a father of my kids, and I'm a spiritual father of many. Oh, okay, he's a spiritual man. And I don't make stupid allegations because I've got nothing better to do. I don't know why they're making pleas specifically. Like I said, I don't know all the ins and outs of these relationships right here. All I know is I see some evidence getting posted, and then this verdict right here, none of it makes that much sense. Though, as the verdict was read out, Peterson pointed at the judge and jury screaming, "This is wicked! You are evil! Wickedness of the highest order!" As others joined in yelling, "Appeal!" And that's messed up, man. Sheriff's deputies barked at the loudest to calm down, and they were joined by dozens more deputies who kept some watchers and press hostage in the courtroom, while a melee in the corridor outside was quelled. Some of the female supporters openly wept for Lanez, wearing a pink coat over a white turtleneck and pink pants, as he sat, looking stunned next to his defense team. And his stepmother yelled, "We love you, baby!" And he was led away in handcuffs to be held in custody until sentencing, which Judge David Herfold scheduled for January 27th. After a day and a half of deliberations at the end of a 10-day trial, the Los Angeles jury of 7 women and 5 men convicted Lanez of 3 felonies: assault with a semi-automatic firearm, shooting a firearm in a grossly negligent manner, and carrying a concealed firearm in a vehicle. Okay, so you're not allowed to transport a firearm? Or you have to have open carry in California? Shit's weird. Okay, the assault carries a penalty of up to 9 years in jail. The conviction for negligently shooting a gun, up to 3 years, and concealed gun for another 3 years. But because the jury also found that Lanez caused great bodily injury, couple of scrapes. I think we got some pictures here in this article as well. That's all she sustained, and that's great bodily injury? Sorry, what? Even still, like, I'm not totally convinced that this dude was doing any of the shooting, but okay. Meg had 3 bullet fragments surgically removed from her feet. Where? That's interesting. From the bottom of her feet? The assault and negligent shooting felonies carry enhanced penalties that could add up to 6 years to a sentence. Canadian-born musician, whose name is Daystar Peterson, is also facing possible deportation. And yeah, not being allowed, being a touring rap artist, okay, being a touring rapper and not being allowed to come back into the United States, bro, his career's fucking done, okay? Like, if he was a metal artist, oh yeah, he'd be fine just being in Canada and Europe. Yeah, that'd be great. Everything would be fine. But a rapper, like, there's only so many times that you can play Toronto. It's like, it's fucking done for him. He had pleaded not guilty to all 3 charges. Yeah, because there was reasonable fucking doubt in her emotional testimony last week, I guess. Meg, shut up Meg, 27, told the jury that she and Lanez, whom she had been having a sexual relationship, even though she denied that repeatedly multiple times beforehand. And then once put under oath, she's like, oh yeah, we were fucking. And you could also say that, and with just a list of other players and other people that were out there as well. Were you also fucking this guy, this guy, this guy? She's a little bit of a town bicycle. Had been at a pool party on July 12th, 2020 at the home of Kylie Jenner, and were in his SUV in the Hollywood Hills with Megan's assistant and best friend, Kelsey Harris, when an argument erupted. Megan Pete, that's her real name, so I'll just call her Pete going forward, asked the driver to stop the car, and she got out, which was when she and Lanez yelled, oh, dance bitch, and fired a gun 5 times at her. Very interesting. Even though another eyewitness who was watching this stuff at the time said the person who was shooting was a woman, but hey man, don't worry about that. It could have just gotten confused with a really short guy, injuring her feet so seriously that she needed surgery. Sort of. She also testified that Lanez offered her and Harris $1 million to keep quiet about the shooting. Interesting, because this was after WAP. They were both well set up. Like these were multi-millionaires engaged in a drunken scuffle after a day of fucking drinking and debauchery, and Lanez offered her $1 million to keep quiet. Lanez apologized to her, saying that he was drunk at the time of the shooting. You guys are leaving out quite a bit here. And like I said, I knew about the stuff from the periphery. I wasn't involved with reading testimony every single day that it came out. But he never mentioned that there was a shooting or anything like that. He just vociferously apologized about something. Okay, nothing about shooting. The only time that shooting was brought up was a text message from Kelsey sent to somebody. I don't know about who the destination of it was. Kelsey sent out a text message saying 911, Tory shot Megan. Why would you do that instead of just calling 911? Okay, and especially if you might have been the trigger woman on this one. Yeah, it'd be pretty easy to implicate the only other guy that's there. That makes sense. The jury didn't buy the defense team's theory that it wasn't Lanez, but Harris, who fired the gun in a fit of jealousy and anger at Megan when she found out the singer had backstabbed her and was sleeping with Lanez, whom Kelsey had been involved with. Yeah, man, like this just devolved because, again, Tory Lanez, like there's nothing wrong. We love hoes around here. We love hoes, okay? We love hoes for the resource that they provide, but nothing else. Okay, and this is why engaging in a relationship with a quarrelsome woman will always end up fucking costing you. And this just happens to be one of the highest prices ever paid. 19 years and basically your fucking career on the line. Like, there's a picture, okay? That was the surgery that was needed. So, theoretically, right? Okay, she was getting shot at. That's the side of her foot, right? Okay, if you can't tell. Side of her foot was getting shot at. Bullet fragments had to get pulled out of it, right? He was shooting 5 times, and that's the best that could happen. Okay. Again, DNA evidence, and on the first day of testimony, when some cops were up there, DNA evidence. Oh, okay, cool. Was that Tory Lanez's gun? No. Can you tell us whose DNA was on that gun? Nah, the 5 different sources, all of which are inconclusive, and we actually can't put it on Tory Lanez. Okay, gunshot residue. Oh, Kelsey's got it. Tory, no, don't worry about it. No. Oh, okay, cool. So how do you actually put the gun in Tory's hands? Do you have any eyewitnesses? Well, Megan Thee Stallion. And it's like, okay, a little bit biased testimony. Kelsey. Well, interesting, because the fact that she needed immunity in order to testify about anything, that would lead you to believe a couple of different things. And then the other eyewitness who was there said that it was a woman who was shooting to begin with. Can you start to think that there is at least some reasonable doubt that's there? First day of trial, Megan told the court that she felt suicidal after the shooting. Oh, fuck off already. And likened the fallout of naming Lanez as the shooter to torture. Oh, of course. I didn't want anybody to get shot because George Floyd had just happened. Like, that was 2 months ago. And that was the entire reason I stepped on glass, because I didn't want anybody to get shot. Because George Floyd, known for being shot by Derek Chauvin. Fucking retard. I can't hold conversation with people for a long time. I don't feel like I want to be on this earth. I can't even be happy. Oh my god, just stop it. You do fucking Instagram lives all the fucking time, okay? You get flooded with love and adoration all the fucking time, and you're gonna tell me, I'm really having a tough time keeping it together. Fuck off. I wish he would have just shot and killed me. Oh my god, could you imagine the fucking maudlin performance that would have been on the stand? That's why I want courtroom cameras fucking everywhere, dude, because this shit is so fucking pathetic. I just wish he would have killed me. What I would have had to gone through was this torture. I don't know if she was crying, pretending to cry, anything like that, because that would have been great to see. It's like, wow, you guys bought that, huh? And this trial went through a weekend as well, and just think about it. If anybody's poking holes in this shit, would have been very fucking helpful, but there's probably a reason that this wasn't televised. They didn't want it to become the circus that Johnny Depp and Amber Heard did, right? I'd imagine that was probably put forward by the state because they knew that they were looking at the evidence, and it's like, well, fuck, we gotta really make a play over here. Judge David Hereford sent the panel of 7 women, 5 men to the jury room shortly after the prosecution and defense wrapped up their closing arguments on Thursday afternoon. And remember, this was the Thursday before Christmas. Obviously, deliberations were going to be quick. The verdict was unanimous. Yeah, it was decided Friday. Friday like 3 o'clock local time for me. So that would have been, what, 5 o'clock Eastern? Okay, so yeah, day and a half, maybe, of deliberations. Or depends on how good the catering was, I guess. After the shooting, Lanez's fans insisted online that Megan was not injured, but Dr. Lee Hirano, chief resident of Cedars-Sinai Medical Center Orthopedic Surgery Department, testified last week the bullet fragments were removed from both of Megan's feet. Both of them? Huh, interesting. Lanez's attorney, George Medajian, who had branded Megan a liar, accused the prosecution of trying to dirty my client to make him look like a bad guy. A black man, hip-hop rapper. Hey, he's Canadian. You should have thrown that in there. It's like, Canadians aren't bad or anything like that. And again, okay, cool. If she had bullet fragments removed from her feet, how do you still put the gun in Tory's hands? I'm just wondering, man. They're asking you to jump to a conclusion to prosecute a black man. The story fits better if it's a black man shooting a black woman, but Kelsey is the one who shot her friend. Asking why the chief investigator in the case only took Lanez's DNA and not the other passengers in the car, Medajian said, because he's a celebrity. He's Tory Lanez. Yeah, no, exactly. And I know he's a big name in that community. It's very segmented. I don't know. Like, I haven't heard the name Tory Lanez before all this shit really popped off. So he's a celebrity, theoretically. Yo. He added, the prosecution wants you to rely on Megan, who lied to you, or Kelsey, who took the fifth. Why would Megan lie? Medajian asked earlier. Megan and Tory are both artists. What's more newsworthy? You got shot by Kelsey Harris or you got shot by Tory Lanez? Yeah, no, exactly. It gives her some street cred. Oh, and the fact that, she didn't want to snitch until she had to. Megan has an image. She's Pete the Stallion. Kelsey found out her best friend was cheating on her with a man and she shot her. Why would that... how would that look for Pete the Stallion? He also reminded the jury of Sean Kelly's testimony in which he told the court that he saw Harris break off from fighting Megan. Oh, right. Yeah, that was just pushed to the side, right? Oh, yeah, no, I just immediately got out of the vehicle and then Tory Lanez started shooting at me. Didn't mention the fact that Megan and Kelsey were engaged in a physical altercation. Oh, it was just a little bump. Why did your nails break off and a pendant got removed from your neck? Just a bump, right? See how many inconsistencies? And again, this is why this shit should have been fucking televised. Now, ultimately, theoretically, it wouldn't have changed the outcome of the case, but more people would be outraged and still talking about this. I know it was big on, like, black Twitter and on the black side of the internet, but this is one of these, bigger societal issues, okay? This is a dude, a man getting unjustly prosecuted, having his entire fucking life destroyed because he was fucking around with hoes. Like, there is some serious fucking knowledge to drop here, but nobody wants to address the elephant in the room. Well, she testified on the first day of trial. Bro, that's as far as that relationship should have went. Okay, that's it. Okay, but no. You had to be seen out in public with her. You had to claim her as yours. My man. Medasian said, the evidence is pretty clear that the gun was in Kelsey's bag. Yeah, no. And again, chain of custody of that gun. Okay, nobody can claim ownership to it. It was a gun that just showed up there. But no, the state says that it was Tory's, and this was obviously in Los Angeles, and we all know how California in general votes. Okay, so yeah, just a deference to authority. So yeah, obviously this is how this shit was gonna go. Calling the prosecution's case full of holes, he went on, my client did not willfully talk the gun and fire the gun. That's why his DNA was not on the gun. There is no evidence that my client shot a firearm. Exactly. And if you don't have fucking evidence, all you have is one person giving testimony that, oh yeah, he shot me. Don't you think that's a little compromising? My client was holding Kelsey's hand to try to stop her from shooting Megan. He was trying to save Megan. Deputy District Attorney Kathy Taw poured scorn on the defense's position that Kelsey shot Megan in a fury because of their romantic rivalry over Lanez. Instead, she told the jury Lanez shot Megan in an angry clash of egos over the musical talents of two rappers. Like I said, I've never heard Tory Lanez's music, and I think I've probably heard WAP once. Maybe. I think maybe. But bruh, is that like a 2 arguing with a 0? Like, what are we doing here? It's the defendant who's on trial, not Megan. Well, she should be. She fucking lied on this dude's name. Told the court in her rebuttal to the defense's closing arguments, the defendant had a bruised ego because Megan was more successful than him. Yeah, but now she's been outed as a hoe for the world to see, and her boyfriend just left her because she was said hoe. Aha. She was disrespecting him as a rapper, and that pissed them off. They were all really drunk at the time, too. Can we not go ahead and discount that and the fact that there was a warring friend and best friend couple in the backseat as well? Okay. How dare she have the audacity to disrespect him and then get out of the car and walk away from him, so he reasserted his dominance. Yeah, but she can't actually put the gun in his hand. But that is more than enough for the jury to find, apparently. Holy fuck, dude. Holy shit. I want to see this appeal. I want to see where this ultimately goes. And I would love to do an update on this saying that, oh yeah, Tory ended up getting it as appeal. They're going to be running back this trial, and good luck trying to fucking prove anything, because again, there is nothing there that puts that gun in Tory Lanez's hands, okay? The story is as sketchy as a fucking Etch-a-Sketch. But no. People know the name Megan Thee Stallion, okay? I wonder how many people knew the name Megan Thee Stallion on the jury as opposed to Tory Lanez, okay? This happened in Los Angeles, okay? This is an starstruck LA jury. Not trying to read anything into this, but, you know, just trying to draw common inferences. And, well, I don't know if our guy got a fair trial on this one. And if there is an appeal, and if that appeal is successful, and this does go to trial, demand, absolutely fucking demand that this gets televised. Not just for my benefit, but for Tory's benefit, okay? So yes, with all of that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.